Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the TJ Jackson Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the TJ Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. We believe that through the power of love, nothing is impossible as long as you have love on your side. My name is TJ Jackson, and yes, we are live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, and you may also be listening to us via podcasts. Yes, the Power of Love show is also available on all major podcast platforms. So if you didn't know that, go ahead and look us up on any podcast platform and make sure to listen to us that way. If you are a regular listener, or if you just enjoy this show, we encourage you to leave a review. It helps others who may be looking for this type of content find it. With all that said, I am not a licensed therapist. I am just an ordinary person who has experienced loss in my life. I've been impacted by it, and I've learned from it. Therefore, I like to share my opinions in an attempt to help you get through whatever it is you are going through. Saying that, if you need professional help, I and the foundation urges you to seek it and to find it. Please, please, please do not just rely on us. As you can see, I'm alone today. My big brother Taj isn't able to make today's show. He's head over heels. No, that's not the right way to say it. He's head into a lot of work for our upcoming event. So he wasn't able to make today's show. But we have a fantastic show, as we normally do here on the Power of Love show. On today's episode, we welcome back a special guest and a special friend to DDJF, Mr. Selwyn Jones. You remember Selwyn from his previous appearance on the Power of Love show. Selwyn is the uncle of George Floyd, who was killed on May 25th, 2020 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, after police officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck for several minutes. That's more like many minutes, while George was face down, handcuffed, and pleading for his own life. Selwyn is joining us today to discuss his forthcoming book entitled The Silent Civil War: How the Murder of My Nephew George Floyd exposed the hidden deaths of racism in America. Co-authored by Selwyn Jones and Nan O'Brien, this book aims to present an honest portrait of the subtle cultural divisiveness that has quietly been waged in American society against the Black community for generations. The Silent Civil War, which these authors believe can no longer be hidden beneath the facade of racial equality and political correctness. Through the use of personal anecdotes of Selwyn's life as the son of a North Carolina sharecropper raised in abject poverty, combined with facts and figures, this landmark book aims to provide evidence of the true landscape of racial disparities in America today and the causative impact George's murder had on that understanding. Selwyn Jones, who is African American, and Nan O'Brien, who is a Caucasian, have co-authored this book to reach the broadest, most diverse audience possible, with both authors holding the belief that the only way to bring diverse people together is to lead by example. Without much further ado, people, we have Mr. Selwyn Jones. Selwyn, I'm going to introduce you. Here comes Selwyn. Of course, our man there. Yes, always with the love, always with the energy.
Uncle Selwyn, Uncle Selwyn.
Uncle Selwyn is back, dancing, grooving. But Selwyn, before I get into some questions with you, we have another person to introduce.
Oh, but no, don't. No.
You playing around, Selwyn?
Bring her on.
Okay. That is the one and only Liz Darden, who is the co-founder of Hope 929.
Hello.
How are you, Liz?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you both for being on. Liz, we love our Selwyn here at the DDJF and our Power Love community. We all love Selwyn.
Yes.
So a lot of my questions are geared towards Selwyn, but I would love for you to interject or say whatever you feel is on your mind. And I may have a question for you as well as we go.
Go ahead and ask her. how you put up with crazy Uncle Selwyn.
Well, like you.
How do you do it? How do you do it, man?
Your team, the whole world, it seems to be reaching out to Uncle Selwyn for the situations that he had to overcome. And he has a way of bringing solace to society. So,
yeah. Selwyn's he's a special, unique person, man.
Oh, wait,
he's a special, unique person.
You don't mean special like front seat of the bus. Don't play with me. You've been doing a lot of crazy stuff. I have expanded my wings, my hands, and we're doing way different things, man. Because we see trials, tribulations, heartaches every day, and it's getting worse. So somebody has to do something to make it better. And I don't know why the Lord said, "Hey, Uncle Selwyn, let's go from being just a simple country boy walking around with no shoes on, in South Dakota when it's snowing, and let's just make a difference, man." Because it's sad how how empathy is this day and time. But man, we're making a move. We're doing all the good things. We're doing things that we feel like it's best to make a change.
Okay, so Selwyn, let me start with the book, because that is so cool. Last time we talked to you, we didn't hear about this book. Now, and you've been a very vocal advocate on behalf of your nephew George since his passing.
I like talking.
Tell us how your advocacy led you into the idea to write a book on the subject, and how did the idea of this book come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from?
I got to be brief on this because February 9th is the release date. Me and a young lady, Nan O'Brien, which is a wonderful human being and a wonderful soul, which is a Caucasian lady, she came to me. She wrote Norman Rockwell's biography. And she came to me and she's like, man, I think I could do this justice because I live in that world that most people do not live in, the uppercase world, of the privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty interesting for us to get together and for me to share my ideas with her and for her to share her ideas with me. And man, it basically ends up being a little bit about Selwyn, but about change and making a difference. We have Cornel West, we have Ben Vereen that announced the book, which was, think about this: Roots, Ben Vereen, Uncle Selwyn, change. That was impactful. And it wasn't hard for him to get on board, man. So it's just about making a difference. We're gonna see if we can't entice some universities, all of them maybe, hopefully, to actually use it as a textbook, man, because it's more about change than it is about Uncle Selwyn. Because Uncle Selwyn, everybody has a story. TJ, you know that, man.
Yeah, that's right.
It just depends on how you deal and handle that story on the back end. And my story, it's being written, but it's been written as we go, as the difference happens, as change happens.
Let me ask you this question, Uncle Selwyn. The book doesn't come out till February. We did, you acknowledged that as well. Okay, pre-order's not till February, or the book doesn't release?
You can pre-order at fanentertainment.net.
Perfect. Okay, let me put that up because that's important. I got that. So here we go. So it's on the screen for those who are watching. Fanentertainment.net. You can pre-order Selwyn's book today. Doesn't come out till February, but you can pre-order it. Here's my question to you, Selwyn. What do you hope people get from reading your book? Let's say they just finished reading their book. What was your aim? What do you want them to experience, or what do you want them to have learned? What do you want them to have done after reading your book? What are you hoping for?
It's just like when I do a speech. If you came in with one feeling, one thought, after you leave, I want you to think, wow. I want you to just sit and think about some of the things I said, some of the things that I got to go through in life, some of the things that you haven't acknowledged that you got to go through in life. Just a different thought process, man. Because at the end of the day, we all come here with a short period of time to bless this beautiful earth. We all come here to make the world a better place. And most people don't have an opportunity. But TJ, we have an opportunity. And you've been doing it for numerous years. And now I have an opportunity to make the world a better place by just spreading my word and just listening to real true stories by a real true person that has been through trials and tribulations. And as you know, I live in a town now of 1,200 people that I still can't go to the store. I still can't go to any business in town, but that doesn't matter to me, because what matters to me is there's a point being made, that we all have an opportunity to express ourselves. We all have that First Amendment that most people say that we have, and it gets shuts off with people of color sometimes. But silence doesn't achieve anything. So express yourself, open your mouth and express how you're feeling, and just try to make a difference, man. Because there's so many people in this world that all they need is, hey, man, it's gonna be okay. It'll be all right. How many kids go to bed without food? How many kids go to bed hungry? And I don't even want to talk about this, but I'm gonna touch it just a little bit. Mr. The quarterback. The 28% of people in his state are on poverty level. Their minimum wage is $7.25 an hour.
George, you gotta. I know who you're talking about because I'm a sports fan, but I don't think
most people don't know.
You're talking about Mr. Brett Favre, right?
No, not Mr. Choir Boy. All I'm saying is this, man. There's so many people in this world that are of need, and there's so many people that are fighting against what needs to happen, man. Because if I'm worth 100 mil, I'm not trying to take from the needy and greedy.
You're right.
You're right. So, man, just, I'm just saying, man.
So, Selwyn, we showed your book. We're going to show it again right now. So for those who want to pre-order The Silent Civil War, you could do so now at fanentertainment.net. Again, it doesn't release till February of 2023, so in about 4 months. But you could still pre-order it now. And by the way, I'm a huge Dr. Cornel West fan. So
hey,
that is,
no, you're not.
Yes, I am. That man's incredible mind.
Think about this. Uncle Selwyn being in collaboration with the mad scientist.
I've never heard him referred to as a mad scientist, but it fits perfectly.
I seen him at Harry Belafonte's birthday party. We all went to Alicia Keys, Spike Lee, and I was like, "Hey, doctor, how are you?" And he looks at me, "Hello, how are you?" I text you last week, man. I instant message. Man, I get like 10 million of those. So, so it was just wonderful to hear that he felt the need and the want to sort of kind of help me out. And being bereaved, it was, let me tell you something, TJ, it was crazy. When I got to speak to him on the phone and to remember when you don't remember this, you're a little short in the tooth, but I remember when Roots came out, I wanted to beat up everybody that didn't look like me.
Yeah.
And nobody looked like me. Nobody looked like me. You've heard the story. They want the black kids that had the darker skin, the Caucasian kids. None of them had freckles. None of them looked funny. I wanted to beat up everybody, teachers, principal, everybody. And just to hear his voice and just to hear him say that, hey, man, he's on board and he wants to put his hands on my movement to help make a difference. That was powerful, man. I'm telling you, I was blown away.
I honestly can't think of a better
couldn't.
I couldn't think of a better person to get a forward from than Dr. Cornel West. That's a huge sign of support that's shown. So that's an amazing thing. That's really an amazing thing.
So makes me feel good.
I'm telling you, he's like you said, the mad scientist that's a mind that we should be cherishing and listening to every single day. Anyways, so when your book tackles obviously racism, topics such as racism that still exists in this country today, what do you think that we as parents? I'm always into parenting, and I got a bunch of kids, and
you got like 9 now.
I always got kids, so and that's my thing. But what do you think us as parents can do to help raise this next generation to end this long history of racism in America and actually make a difference and change the landscape?
TJ, I'm going to give my co-host a challenge. Okay, you've heard this before, T. I'm going to see if Miss Darden can come correct, because normally she falls.
Okay.
Let me hear.
The pressure is on.
Oh, it's not pressure. It's necessary. These conversations are necessary to have in today's society. As an individual growing up in a very diverse community, Anchorage, Alaska, shout out East High, was a very diverse high school. Moved to a small town in Harrison, Arkansas, that's known as the most racist town in the nation.
I want to hear it.
I had a fear because I'm raising culturally mixed children in this community. And 10 years ago, I joined the Task Force on Race Relations because the head of the KKK lives 10 miles from my house.
I want to hear it.
And instead of living in fear, I wanted to get involved with the community, became an educator to help change the mindsets of the youth. It's not just going to come from the parents. We have to have those conversations. What I have come to find is there is a lack of cultural experiences, a lack of awareness. Some people like to say culturally incompetent when it comes to what we see on TV and these stereotypes. And then we go on to where there's discrimination in this society and the hatred that we're seeing continuously. And how Uncle Selwyn and I met was about a year ago. The Task Force on Race Relations collaborated with the Martin Luther King Jr. Commission, and I coordinated an event, and Uncle Selwyn was a surprise guest. He heard me speak, and I spoke on what seems so black and white comes from a history of rectifying fights. How will there ever be racial reconciliation when intolerable treatment continues to occur across the nation? How? Well, if we're staying silent, it's only going to perpetuate the issues. So we need to speak up as parents, help. If you're a white parent raising white children, help them be aware about other people's experiences. Same with educators. Teach them true history. Don't change history. Don't desensitize. What am I trying to say? But the CRT, what they're trying to do with
don't
canceling out. Don't soften it.
Yeah.
Can I raise my hand?
Go ahead, Uncle
Can I
Sam.
raise my hand? TJ, Miss Darden has been doing one thing. Miss Darden, I want to hear it. TJ knows what I want to hear.
With what?
What is my mantra? What do we want to hear?
Okay, his slogan is educate, motivate, communicate, and conversate. And we have an argument because communicate, conversate go hand in hand. But you have to have those conversations.
Touchdowns.
You have to communicate. You have to be open to hearing those who are going through the discrimination, those who have been oppressed. What we do in our organization, through the collaboration, ever since that one event, we have combined brain powers with many people. And we founded an organization, Hope 929 is a nonprofit. And we have found that there's a lack of tools and resources for those who overcome police brutality, those who are overcoming incarceration, those who are overcoming homelessness and drug addiction. And so what we like to do is bring tools and empowerment to those and give them solutions. And we have collaborated with Aware Strategies, which has an app that can help those in harmful situations or just anyone that's uncomfortable with their current situation. They can use this app to help individuals know where they're at and it gets them on a call center to let them know where they're at. And if you want to download that and find out more, it's called I'm Aware, and use the I Hope promo code. That way it's just a little referral for that we sent them your way. And yeah, man, there's just so much going on in our society. And so we also started a podcast that Uncle Selwyn is the star of the show, and we bring on powerful individuals with powerful voices like Rashal Brackney, who was the chief of police in Charlottesville. And that was our first episode. It just dropped yesterday. Next episode, we have an exciting Ye's response to the...
Don't be mad at me.
Okay.
Man, that's a whole nother episode, but I could go on.
Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, man. So, we got a lot of things going. Soul for Heart, memorizing George Floyd is also my foundation. So, dog, busy?
Yeah. It's okay. Wait. We heard about the podcast. What is the podcast called? And it's on all the major platforms, right?
Yes, we have partnered with TMS Studios and Revolver Media. It's called Setting It Straight with Selwyn. But if you want to reach out to us, go to Setting It Straight Selwyn on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Reach out. Let us know what you think, you guys. These are some serious conversations, just like you're having. And, it's really cool because I don't think anything is by accident. Business is about collaboration. We in the business of serving others. Mm-hmm. You too. Being here in this moment right now, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to speak with you, because hearing what your mission is so aligned with what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's just much love and much appreciation.
I want to dance.
Oh God.
You're always welcome to dance.
Do we want to dance?
Do you remember the first time we met and we're talking? I was like, hey, man. After it all got caught up to me, I was like, hey, man, you wouldn't be Yee's nephews, would you? Like, yeah, Uncle Michael. I was like, oh, my God. He mad, Peter.
Yeah.
That's been 3 years ago. Almost.
Has it been 3 years?
Almost been 3 years, man.
Wow.
Because I talked to you right after he died, and I appreciate and just think so much of you. Now, Taj has dropped to the back of the bus, man.
I told you.
Amen to that.
Uncle Selwyn, you're gonna have to snatch him up next time you see him.
Man, I'm telling you, we gotta be in LA. Like I'm thinking November the 14th to 15th. We need to trade things so I can see him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Somebody's house to eat.
Done deal. Done deal.
Drop a couple pounds, So I'm looking a little thin, So, but man, let me tell you, we could talk about stupidity every second of every day, because the shooters are young. Then we have our people. I ain't saying nothing, but I'm just gonna give something that are not standing behind us. And man, that's hard. That's hard because we don't have a lot of people that people respect, or people are heroes. You know what I'm saying? And we just got through with the slap thing. I'm not going to talk about that. Mm-hmm. Because that's cray-cray. That's cray-cray. That's another conversation. So, man, we can get it all day, every day. But all we want to do is make a difference. And to just know that people that, just like your foundation, you have an opportunity to reach out to somebody that really cares, man. Because I've gone through so many situations that you just want to go, wow, does it ever stop? Yeah. And TJ, it don't ever stop.
And how do you, so when you have a couple more years on this planet than me, just only a couple, and I know you went through obviously harder times, not only from our upbringing, difference in our upbringings, but also.
No. I've never ridden a Bentley. I never had a Bentley for a play car.
But my question is this: you still are very upbeat. You're still fun. You're still positive.
I could cry every day. Winners don't quit. Quitters don't win. You do what you have to do until you can eventually do what you want to do. And being a man of color, you'll never be able to do what you want to do. But you do what you can to make that heart soothe others and to know at the end of the day that you made a difference. Because, brother, let me tell you, you know the story. We bought a motel. I remodeled it by myself, and I wanted to sit and watch my little 6-year-old ride his go-kart and have fun because I never was able to afford anything like that. Never had a new bicycle. You know, grew up with no running water, no indoor plumbing. Everybody has a story. 80% of the people don't care. The other 20% don't give a damn. You know? And I battled every step, every way, every step, every day. And I still battle. You know, my smiles come from not being able to eat when I was a kid, from not having those things that most people had. And if you can put a smile on your face, man, you know, my mama told me, boy, a smile a day is worth everything. You know, I walk around right now, man. You should see it. Because the folks across the street, they think I'm crazier than hell. I'm doing the robot. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, they got no shoes on. It snowed the other day, man. And I wore my sandals. You know, and I had to get some rooms clean. I'm doing the robot and shit. Feet cold, but doing the robot. You know, man.
That's one of my favorite things. That's one of my favorite things about you, Selwyn. Is your energy, man. It's contagious, it's beautiful, and it's inspirational.
365, 24/7. Because, brother, if you don't believe in you, who else is going to believe in you? Everything starts with a dream. I had a nightmare. I watched a nightmare. I sat and watched one of my favorite people laugh, cry, beg, and die. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. You know, you've got people with a lot of misskewed thoughts. People want money. People want fame. I just want change. That's all I want to change, man. I want to live in a different world so little TJ's babies don't have to go through the things that we had to go through. And I know you being in the family that you are in, there's a lot of things that you had to go through, man, that most people will never know.
That's true. Different type of things, you know. But
came by the color of your skin.
And I have. But at the same time, I don't want to say it's not a guilty feeling, but it's an understanding and a respect to those who look like me, who had to go through a harder path, a harder journey.
You gotta respect. You can't change the path, my brother. I can't change 500 years ago, but what I could do is I can make this day better, you know, in my wants, my hopes, and my dreams. It's like tomorrow, I'm going to be standing beside Bernetta King, which is Martin Luther King's daughter. And, you know, that is, I didn't know how to feel about that yet, you know, because I'm standing beside somebody that their dad was, you can't even mention his name in any other, nobody, you can put nobody in that category. Because just think about that, man. Dogs, water hose, murders, killings. And he knew that his destiny was death because of change for our people. Think about that, man. And you know, TJ, we talked about this before. There's some little 15-year-old kid that is sitting in his bedroom and he's got my picture on his wall. And he's thinking, if he gets to making too much change or he gets to making too much difference, we need to go see him. And brother, after my nephew died, after it happened, I knew that all the quasars lined up and I had to be the one. So my man, if it's everybody's got a day to go. And my day to go is whenever the Lord so chooses for that to be. But it's angry and hateful as all these people are that we see today, you know? So I hope so full heart I'm in a rush to make a difference. whether it's here, there, or everywhere. I'm in a rush to make a difference, to make people see that we're all the same. We all
Yeah.
breathe, and we all, some people live better than others. Some people's houses are bigger. Some people's cars are better. But guess what? At the end of the day, we come here for a short period of time to make a difference in this world. And why not make the world a better place when you leave than when you came in? Because when we came in, it was hell.
So, when Toria has a question, one of our viewers and supporters, Torius, asked, "Do you feel things are changing in a positive way since George's death?"
Liz, I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna back off of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Get it,
What do you
Liz.
think, Liz? Do you think things are going in a more positive way since George's death?
I think there's a lot more awareness, which is a positive change to these tragic situations that occur far too often because of a thing called systemic racism. And I believe that individuals like Uncle Selwyn, who has a voice, who has the influence and the courage to be a speaker, to speak on these issues and bring awareness, he has done things like get the Confederate flag off the police uniform in his town. And there's things like that
That's just crazy.
things that are hurtful and harmful to individuals, especially to those who've been oppressed, symbols like that to flaunt. I would say those are some positive changes, but hatred is taught, racism is taught, and it's embedded in our system, and continuous acts of violence keep occurring. And it's got to start from the top, when it comes to policing, there's things that need to be brought to awareness, like police are trained for a short amount of time before they become a police officer and have a badge and have that qualified immunity to not be held accountable when they are inflicting harm on individuals that haven't been able to use their voice. And it's unfortunate in today's society that people of color are targeted, So things have been brought to more awareness, and there's still a lot room for effectuating change. And that's what we do. We seek empowering solutions, and we cater to audiences who have that ambition to bring about change.
So there's two things I want to remind everyone about the podcast, Setting It Straight with Selwyn. But if you're going to look it up on YouTube or any of the social media, it's Setting It Straight Selwyn. Again, the podcast is a weekly podcast. Is that right?
Yes, every Tuesday.
It's a weekly, every Tuesday. How many episodes in? Are you guys on 2? You've done 2 so far?
Yeah, there'll be 2 as of next week. Our second one will be released.
Let me show you how life is. Let me show you how life is. This is what somebody wrote that has lived beside a property that I've owned for 10 years. And that's what they wrote. And under the bottom, you can see the end.
That's so unfortunate.
And that stayed up for 4.5 months.
For 4.5 months.
Stayed up for 4.5 months. My little 5-year-old said, "Dad, if I say that word, you beat my butt."
Yeah.
So, brother, what I'm telling you, man, is this ain't a game. And, you have those people thinking, "Wow, man, you gotta ride that cash cow." Dog, let me tell you something. I don't care about any monetary value because I've been eating. Look at me. It don't look like I've lost no weight since the last time I seen you. I was chubby when I seen you, man. I was voluptuous, what I call it.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is I live this.
Yeah.
365, 24/7. Man, and I'm just in it to win it. I'll never win it. But that we have to start with the youth, 35 and below, because y'all's brain ain't tainted, man. Your brain ain't just thinking a certain way. But if you look at some of the shooters now,
you got to address the mental health epidemic, the issues that are occurring.
That's a whole other piece.
Another show.
That's what we were talking about that before we started this one. And you were saying, Selwyn, how when you were growing up, if you heard about a shooter, it was oftentimes from someone from the Vietnam War who was having a flashback. But today, it's our youth having issues.
Today, it's a flashback from what their parents were teaching them.
Yeah.
Because Autism isn't a gene. It's an emotion that your parents sit and tell you that you're better than that person because of your car, because of your hair. Dog, how in the world can you be in Texas and you have to have a bill passed to have little babies wearing their hairs and afros?
Yeah.
And it's your hair. You know, dog, we've came into a world and a place that, man, Uncle Selwyn should have waited, or Uncle Selwyn should have did this a long time ago, because Uncle Selwyn has so many things that we have to deal with, you know, whether it's how kids go to school, how you dress. You know, we talked last night, me and Liz, and think about this, man. You get targeted because you're black. You live in a certain neighborhood, and let's say you're walking in a general neighborhood and you have your hood on. Guess what happens? 2016, one of my friend's sons had a hood on, and the police in Vegas, last person killed 2015 in Vegas, January 31st. I mean December 31st, and he was walking with his hood on, and they were chasing the young man, and they stopped him and they said, "Hey, get upside the fence." Hey, I haven't did anything 14 times.
Wow.
You know, man. So,
Uncle Selwyn, that made me think of a case that has been reopened. You know, it doesn't have to be necessarily a teen or someone older wearing a hood. It can be a toddler throwing out a candy wrapper outside of the door at a traffic stop. And our friend, a dear friend of ours, Dee Crane, her son Tavis Crane was shot at a traffic stop by a police officer. They accused the wrapper being a crack pipe, and they came in, told him to get out of the car, but he didn't want to leave his child in the car. He was on the phone with his child's mother, and they came and shot him in the back within 30 seconds. Now, it took 9 minutes and 29 seconds for his nephew to lose his life. This individual is 30 seconds.
TJ, they got into the car. They got into the car. They put they grabbed the boy around the neck, and their thought process was, "Hey, how do we do it?
This was in Arlington, Texas, for those of you that want to look it up."
They said,
when was this? When did this happen?
2017, and they just opened the case, reopened the case. She's going to sue
Tavis Crane.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They said that they used the excuse that he tried to back over a cop. Okay, TJ, if you got popped in the back of the head with a 40 caliber, you'd probably lose motor skills too. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of things that are going on that we got to change. We need to fight.
Mm.
You know, man. And dog, we see them every day. Every day, I see something and I'm thinking, whoa. You know, man, George Floyd was a catalyst for change. So I'm using my movement, my right, to make a difference and change. Because like I said, brother, past can't do nothing about. We can only grow from the past. We can only learn from the past. We can only change from the past. It's the present and the future is what we need to grow.
And I think one of the big problems that we're having in our society is people chaining their mistakes, chaining themselves to their past, or holding those grudges, you know, and not forgiving themselves, not forgiving others, and moving forward, or not even taking responsibility of our actions. You know, we just need to have those conversations. Confront.
That's why I agree with you. I mean, I agree with both of you on everything we've talked about, but that's why I want to reiterate the importance of conversing and talking and not hiding our history. Because I'm one of those who thinks that if you hide your history, there's a good chance you're going to repeat it. And
absolutely,
I truly believe, you know, we are all humans. We all have love in our hearts, but it starts with us seeing each other and respecting each other. And it starts with conversations. Now, I'm going to mention the book again. I'm going to mention it probably again once we close.
Liz, you know what he's doing right. Liz, you know what he's doing right.
The book is called The Silent.
Selwyn.
I got you,
Selwyn. Liz Garden. Y'all are just like giving it to me. Bam, bam, bam.
I love it.
It is time to turn the lights down low.
The Silent
It-
Civil War, Selwyn Jones and Nan O'Brien. Is that the right? Yeah, Nan O'Brien. You can pre-order today at fanentertainment.net. I'm proud of you for writing this book, Selwyn. I think you are, I think the world of you. You have an incredible amount of knowledge and experience that, and you have a way of delivering it in a good way. So I'm very proud that you've written this book. I can't wait to read it myself. So before I even go any further, I just want to show some love and respect for you for even doing the book.
You have to pre-order 10,000 copies.
But another thing to note is you can relate to so many individuals from having to overcome abject poverty and having to go to the bathroom in a bucket to overcoming the bullying and the harassment that you experience as a child to becoming a successful businessman. So before the loss of your nephew, you had an inspiring story to tell. So you guys get your copy, pre-order your copy.
Love it.
I can't wait to read it too.
It's about change, making a difference. And man, I reckon I'll say this. If you want to say that something's wrong, don't order it. Don't order it. I tell people all the time, if you don't want to hear me speak, don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. But if you sit and you listen to the things that I have to say, you'll relate to what it takes to win. Because, dog, when you're born with nothing and everybody thinks that you probably should be nothing and you refuse to quit, quitters don't win and winners don't quit. There's no such word as can't.
But honestly, Uncle Selwyn, you just made me think of something. Those are the people, the ones that don't want to hear it are probably the ones that need to read it the most, and that's kind of the thing that we struggle with when we host our events. Like, how are we going to get the people that really need to hear these stories, these real life situations?
Here we go. The genie's coming alive, TJ.
What's the genie going to say, Uncle Selwyn?
We need to have a cookout. Everybody loves to eat, man. Everybody loves to eat. We need to have a cookout.
What can bring people together? Food, music,
food, dance, sing. Hey, maybe we'll get TJ and make him break out some of his old hits.
There you go. You never know.
That's back in the day, son.
You never know. Selwyn, one question from Georgina is, can you read it out loud? Or can you read it? Can he read out of it? They want a portion of the book, but I don't know if we have that or if you have that. But one thing I will say is, Selwyn, at some point, even if it's 6 months or a year from now, you need to do an audible version of this book, an audio.
We're going to do an audible version. Tell Georgina to hit up Uncle Selwyn and set it straight, or Uncle Selwyn 929, and tell Georgina that I will sign an autographed copy and hit her up.
All right.
Georgina,
all right.
Working it, girl. Working it.
And she actually wants to share a story too. She says, I have a story to share. She said, this year in April, my friend's brother got murdered by a police officer similar like George. He was on his neck and punched his head on the floor, or pushed his head on the floor. Everything was filmed on a cell phone in the city, but when it came to be proof, suddenly the body cam wasn't on. Such a shock for us that this happens in Germany too.
Tell Georgina that she needs to reach out to Uncle Selwyn 929@gmail.com or Setting It Straight with Selwyn, and we will figure out how we can help her or communicate about the situation, because this is what we do. This is what we do. This
happens too often, and I'm so sorry to hear about your loss.
And why it was important for me to highlight Georgina's comments, because there's many comments I'm seeing, but just to show to everyone, this isn't just a U.S. thing.
And that does surprise me that it happened in Germany, because they actually do teach their true history.
Yeah. I mean,
the SWAT sticker is like that Confederate flag, but this is the SWAT sticker in Germany. You go to jail. Confederate flag, people go, That's all right. That's all
Yeah.
right because we're white. Well, you know what? I've got a lot of friends that I grew up with that donned the Confederate flag. Hey, have at it, man. I know your feeling. I know your love for your patriotism. I know your heritage. But most of the people that don the Confederate flag, brother, now, it's not their heritage. They're using it as a hate symbol.
Yeah.
They're using it as a symbol to get that power and control that those
And
folks give.
and so when I grew up, lived in California, so I don't really ever see I know it's here. I'm not going to say
I
it's
can
not
show you
here.
some pictures if
I,
you want to.
I know, and then I travel, so sometimes I see it. And then there was like a year ago when I went into a dive on the Confederate flag to learn more about it. And my and then there's actually a really good debate on it on YouTube where it's a high school debate where kids are talking about it. But I have two really serious issues. We in this country we celebrate our winners. We
What?
like to be the champions. We like to be the first place. How can a symbol
What?
live on so
What?
many years when it's the symbol of losers?
What?
You know what I mean? So it's like I can't buy into the
What?
argument that you want to showcase something of a loss
What?
all these years. So there's a different type of reasoning why you are showcasing that symbol.
Hatred, power, and control, my brother.
So
Hatred, power, and control.
I don't know another symbol that has survived by being a flat out loser. You know what I mean? And
Hatred, power, and control.
It's really, really sad. And I grew up knowing about the symbol and being watch out for anyone who's showing that symbol. That was the extent of my knowledge because they may not see me as an equal. And the truth of the matter is, it's something that I don't understand how a government, how a city can stand behind allowing that to be expressed.
Power,
I really can't.
And control.
And that's why I do respect what Germany has done. They've acknowledged their mistake. They've acknowledged the importance of eliminating it and not letting that happen.
We're not even talking about reparations. We're not even going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, power and control. Brother, when people talk to me about the flag, I'm not going to win the Nobel Peace Prize for rocket scientists. But what I'm telling you is this. There wasn't a war about the Mason-Dixon line. North of the Mason-Dixon line. And when people around me, which has shunned me from stores, which have businesses, because of their rhetoric that they've said about me, and somebody said you didn't know your history. I was like, wow, I ain't gonna win the Rocket Scientist Award, but I know that it wasn't no war about the Mason-Dixon line. So what's your heritage? So a lot of people grow into that fact of hatred. Because that's a symbol of hatred to most people now. Dog, and let me tell you, I got friends that don it, that I grew up with, man. Good old boys. I love Dale Earnhardt, love Richard Petty. You know, but the hatred that's involved within donning the flag now has nothing to do with good old boy. It has to do with hate old boy. And old boy happens to be a person of color.
Yeah.
And
and to add to that, for anyone who is willing to listen, to understand what the impact it has on us, for them to still be that prideful and egotistical, to still don it and showcase and say that's your issue, I can't respect that.
Or go back to Africa. You'll hear
I
those
can't
remarks
respect
too.
that.
Hey,
I can't
tell
respect
me,
that.
Nope.
go back to Africa. No disrespect, brother.
First of all, people have a false perception. Africa is not all nature. There's some very wealthy individuals there.
It's 126 degrees in the shade. Most people are on poverty. I'm fat. I gotta eat.
Okay, so there's a couple more things. Lana also says the segregation in Barbados is more subtle, but it is there. We have to be the best we can be to each other and make the effort to understand each other. And I want to add that in reference to something Brandy said, I don't know what it was said, but she does go on to say, I have to say that has not been my experience, and I'm grateful to have very mindful non-Black friends over the world. So I assume all over the world. So, I always want to be careful with these kind of shows because I don't want, some people may seem it's an attack on them. And I want to make sure.
If you have no hate in your heart, this is crazy, T. People think that you can go to heaven with hate in your heart. There's no such thing, man. You can't don them pearly gates with hate in your heart. You can't don those pearly gates with prejudice, envy, shame. None of that, man.
In Revelations, every tribe, tongue, and nation will surround his throne and worship. So why are we sitting here saying who's better? We're all on the same human level.
Yeah. Simple, man. You come here with a day to leave. Everybody you come here with the help of your mother, but guess what? You leave by yourself. And that is what we got to take with us. What did you do to impact the world around you when you leave? And all Uncle Selwyn wants to do, my brother, is when I shut my eyes or somebody contributes to shutting my eyes, I want everybody to say that, yeah, go, man. He sure made a good effort to make the world a better place. That's all I want to do. I want to make the world a better place. I want everybody to eat catfish. I want everybody
to catfish, y'all. If y'all ever want to make him happy, find him a catfish spot.
Respect each other, and just know, man. Hey, man, I'm being serious, fella. Oh wait, I'm being serious, fella. Yeah, but I just want everybody to know, man, that we all come here together to live and be joyful, and be respectful, and to respect each other and to make each other better. Because without you, I wouldn't be good. I wouldn't be better. I remember when I first started, and you were like, "You can't say that. You can't." And man, I got so much respect and love for you, my man, that I thank you every time I call you. Hey, remember this song? I'll be there.
I love it, Selwyn. It's the same.
Every time I call you, baby, you're
it's
always
the same.
Hey, man, what's up, baby? What's up? When you want to do it? And I appreciate you.
That love is reciprocated, man. That love is reciprocated. And our community loves you too, Selwyn. Fanentertainment.net, that is where you could pre-order the book. And where you could pre-order the book. And then don't forget about the podcast, Setting It Straight with Selwyn.
Carrie Gilbert.
They love you, Selwyn.
You're the best. What you mean, Miss Silent Siren?
She says, tell it, Unc.
I'm not a comedian, dear. What I am is a real. I'm freckles, the black guy, anyhow.
And Patty says, preach the word, Uncle Selwyn. There you go.
Hey, stop your mess. Hallelujah. Woo.
Okay, so Selwyn is aware. It's that time. We're almost at an hour. We usually only do 35-40 minutes of the show. We are almost at an hour.
Guess what?
What's
this
that?
Is Michael Jordan. This is that street paint. This is that street paint. I ain't got no blonde hair in my mouth like Rodman, but all I can say, brother, is everything that I do, I gotta holler at my boys. That's right. My boys always hit me back. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, I had a cell phone. No, I know a friend that had a cell phone that had my number, that had your numbers attached to it. And he got this car that's got a lot of horsepower. And my friend drove like 100 and something miles per hour, and the phone was on the car. So my friend needs for you to shoot me those numbers back, because he couldn't give me those numbers out of his phone. If you get that.
Got you. No worries.
So when I come to LA, we can eat some whatever y'all eat in LA, man, because y'all be fancy out in LA. Hell,
not me so much though. And I'm pretty simple, man. I keep it simple. So
like rocket scientists, we were with an Uber driver, and they told us today was a nuclear physicist, and they had a bomb in the car. Like, oh no,
really? That's crazy.
Nuclear physicist. She was a nuclear physicist that lost her job during
Wow.
COVID, and she was driving Uber. And dog, the difference between New York, I love New York. I love LA. I really love LA. But the people, the sun, the brightness, the spark, the power. New York, oh my God, man, it takes like 2 hours to get a minute. That's like 2 hours to get a mile, and they cussing the whole way. But in LA, they're taking you for a ride, Uncle Selwyn. I appreciate you.
Yeah, always. So, well, we end the show giving our guests. So this is up to either of you to take over or both of you to take over. It doesn't matter. But we like to end our show with a final word from you guys. What do you want to leave our community with? If it could be about anything you want. But this is a final say. If we didn't say talk about something you want to talk about, if there's a message you want to leave with our community, now is the time. So go ahead. Whoever wants to take it, you want to take it together, individually, it doesn't matter. But what do you want to leave our community with?
Ladies first.
Well, just going off, someone had mentioned how funny he is. It's okay to smile, even though you're facing tragedy in your life. It's okay to find something to always smile about. And ladies and gentlemen, it's our duty to walk with humility, peace, and love. It's our duty to listen to the cries, not place judgment and walk past. We got to continue to speak up for those who have been historically marginalized and oppressed and continue these conversations. So thank you all so much for listening. And thank you so much for having the opportunity to be here today. I love what you guys are doing with your show and your message.
TJ.
Love it. Talk to me, Selwyn.
I was doing my podcast. And Miss Darden has been to laugh because
come on now, man.
If you remember the Blow episode, the Blow movie.
Are you about to call me out?
No, I'm not. May the face, may the sun always shine upon your face, and the wind may always be upon your back, and may dreams of destiny always be with you. Because every day we wake up with two things: a chance and a change. A chance and a choice. If you make a good choice, you'll have better chances. So just make better chances in life. Better choices in life. So you can reach your destiny and reach your potential. Because if an old country rascal like me can achieve and win and battle to be great, so can you. That is my final thought. Because you know what, man? I should bust this out now and go, for all the girls in Mexico.
Yeah. All right. So his Instagram is Justice for George 846. Again, setting it straight. Selwyn is a handle. You can find more things about Selwyn, especially the podcast. And then we also have the book. You could pre-order his book, Silent Silver War: How the Murder of My Nephew George Exposed the Hidden Death of Racism in America.
Pre-order and mention that it came from the TJ Jackson show. Uncle Selwyn will shoot that John Hancock to you.
Ooh.
So you'll be able to say, wow, I got this fool. John Hancock. It's only one. I ain't gonna do much.
So there you go. If you pre-order it, make sure you mention DDJF and Uncle Selwyn will sign it for you.
And reach out. Those who are listening, if you have a situation that you need more awareness brought to light, because so many times situations just get swept under the rug, or like that young lady's instance in Germany, all of a sudden the camera went out. Let us know. We can help shed light, and we host events and have a good time and get the messages out. So without reaching out, we don't know. All you have to do, reach out, holler at me, holler at your boy. And I cannot communicate with everybody at once, but I can promise you that I've only got a very short time to do this. So help me help those that need to be helped. Because my heart is full. Thank you. Thanks, Jolene.
TJ.
Thanks for all the positive love and feedback. We appreciate the listeners. Great audience you guys have.
Put that stuff in the box. When I come out of LA, lunch is on you.
All right. I got you, Selwyn.
Oh, I gotta do this. Wee, be there.
Okay, so let me explain what's happening. So, for those who are listening on the podcast, I've been showcasing some amazing comments from everyone. There's so many different ones. From this was an amazing show. I totally enjoyed this show. This was the best show ever. Thanks, Mr. Selwyn and Liz. This was very intense yet lighthearted. I appreciate this session so much. That's from Lana. And then we have a super chat from Bommy that is highlighted currently that says, I love these wonderful guests. Miss Liz is gorgeous and Uncle Selwyn is hilarious.
Hey, Liz has got a hair problem. You know what, TJ, sometimes, you got that stuff.
You got to get your hair right before the camera comes on. So he's making fun. Those who are listening, he's making fun of me before our shows. I'll try to, get the flyaways down. I don't know what's up.
I wish I could do
get out of here.
Well, okay.
I don't do none of that.
So I just want to say to everyone, we cannot, they say you can't grow without some pain. You can't become a better person without acknowledging some of your shortcomings. It only makes you stronger. If we live in a world or in a mindset where we don't want to acknowledge anything negative or bad, we're not going to grow to our ultimate being. So
I want to be the green giant because I suffer pain every day. I could cry every second of every day. Imagine this, seeing one of your favorite people laying on the street until he dies, breathing with him, taking his very last breath. I used to do a speech where I used to call out minutes. 6 minutes. Oh, God, I'm getting weak. I don't know if I'm going to last. I don't know if I'm going to make it on this one. 7 minutes. I'm not going to make it home today. I'm going home to see my mama. That's what I got to live with every day. And you know what, kids? I take that as a boost for me to make a difference. Because nobody should have to be put in that situation. Nobody should have to go out begging, laughing, dancing, begging, crying, and dying because of a $20 supposedly counterfeit bill. When they're giving people 9 years for THC resin, and they're giving people 9 years, 3 of them, for murder of my nephew. So, hey, kids, we can't bring George Floyd back, but what we can do is we can take what he gave us and we can move forward and make a difference.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it. All right, everyone. One love. Love you all. Be respectful to everybody. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter where they come from. Show them some love. Show them some heart.
Respect.
And show them some respect.
Lizzie,
all right.
I'm out.
All right. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you.
I'm out.